Broads Media.
Oh, man. What do you think Nick Castellanos is thinking right now? I'll tell you for free. He goes, damn, Broads, I want an Amelio cigar. And I don't blame him. After making that catch and all the drama and no defensive replacement in the ninth inning, the one thing you do is celebrate. The one thing you do is smoke a beautiful, outstanding Amelio cigar. My mouth is watering currently just thinking about what I'm about to do when this podcast is over, and you should join me. Amelio cigars. Some old school roots, some new school attitude, baby. It is the perfect blend. Locally owned, third generation. And by the way, made in the Fábrica Oveja Negra in Nicaragua. This is no joke. This is so serious. I am in love. And when I tell you that I enjoy every puff I take, every single puff, every morning, afternoon, and night when I get to go out back and consume one of these babies, it's the best feeling in the world. And you must join me. There's only one cigar to smoke out there. That's why I got a whole box of them right here. Now, what you can do is you can go to your local tobacco shop and say, hey, I'm really interested in Amelio cigars. And you can also check out the link down below in the description. Do not be a fool. Make sure you join the Amelio cigar family today. It's unbelievable. I mean, it truly is a crazy story. How Nick Castellanos in the ninth, after Rob Thomson doesn't utilize a defensive replacement, helps save the game. When I thought Madstrom pissed it away. When I thought Madstrom blew it. Nicky no shirt. Nicky untuck. Played with a purpose today, didn't he? I even think he did a damn good job backing up a play in this one. How about that? The details. The details. Except for, I guess, the base running. What are you going to do? What a crazy 24 hours. It was a big win. Right now they are set up to do what they needed to in Miami, which is at a minimum, take 3 of the 4 games. But let's talk about Rob. Let's talk about the importance of winning this game in particular in the fashion that they did. This could benefit them. I was worried that it could go south, that things can go wrong. And if they beat Miami and then somehow collapse and get bent over by the Mets over the weekend, then all of this is for nothing. But as we sit here today, with the right fielder playing with piss and vinegar and showing up and balling out, and you can feel that when you were watching the game through the damn TV. He brought it today. There's 2 ways it can go when you have turmoil, when you challenge one another. No matter who's right, no matter who's wrong, the heat of the moment happened. Either someone like Nick goes, 0 for 4, 4 Ks, pouting whenever the camera shows him, or gets so fired up, he's ripping his clothes off in celebration. Team gets fuel from that. I think the guys love it, love the answer. They love it all. They look at it as Rob did the right thing, and Nick, you know what? He took the field pissed off, and he helped lead us emotionally, and we can grab onto that. It's there for the taking. Especially not to look too far ahead, because a 2-2 series would make me very upset. So you must win tomorrow. But it's not as if the Mets are lighting the world on fire here. They're in free fall. So you can get a team rising and making a negative a positive. And when you're in the middle of that too, these are real raw emotions. This is more significant. Maybe not. I was going to say more significant than benching Alec Boehm, who was a starting third baseman in the All-Star game in the playoffs against the Mets in the NLDS. But it's right up there. It may not be that, but this is right up there. This is the regular season equivalent. So to force Rob Thomson to do that, and for Nick to do this, you are in the thick of the rawness of the emotions. If you have the right character, if you have the right mindset, if you have the right people in place, there is a way for that organically to turn into a good thing. I brought it up with AJ, with BG, with Jalen. Battle-tested group. This could end up being incredible. It could. I'm not telling you it will be. It could end up just fizzling out at some point, and they are who they are, a team that has a lot of concerns with the pen. I don't know why we're utilizing Matt Strom in the ninth. I prefer at this particular time to go to a Ryan Kerkering. He was great right before that. They didn't want to use Romano because they're going to need him tomorrow, I'm assuming, unless they just have a nice blowout and they could just waste some nobody. That would be nice. You probably should have put the Marlins away earlier. You had Bryce and Stott smack one deep. Ew! Ew! Stott! Ew! How badly did he need that? Wow. But that fourth inning or so, that was all she wrote. And in the seventh, you definitely had life. And you probably should have pounded them in the dirt where we didn't need to sweat it out as badly as we did. It was, what's the word? Protrusely sweating? That's not it. What? I have to say this. And I'm being serious, but I'm not. It's a joke. It's a joke. But when I first saw the motion of Nick ripping his shirt out of his pants up to his nipple, I thought, is he showing up the manager? I'm kidding. I'm not doing that. But that was my first thought. Then I heard Rob, and he had a smile from ear to ear, talking and glowing about how Nick answered all the controversy. And then I realized, nah, man, he really loved it. That was an actual real reaction from Topper. He loved it. I don't think he was putting on a front. There's a reason why he left him in that game. He wanted to see that happen. He was rooting for that. The worst case scenario would be it goes to right field and all these defensive metrics prove to be true and prove to say, hey, Nick's an embarrassing right fielder, and something goes down where it's woof. But that didn't happen. Topper wanted this. On a more serious note, though, I do think the decision now loses power. I gave Rob Thomson a ton of credit. I thought he did the right thing and responded to an inappropriate comment the way a manager should, regardless of what past history led him to do, regardless if he's known to be someone who allows the veterans to speak their mind and show how they feel and to have passion every day. He loves that side of it. There was clearly a disconnect with what Nick thought was acceptable, or maybe he knows it's not acceptable, but in the heat of the moment, he just let the best get to him. Whatever it is. If you're just going to not replace him defensively in the ninth the following night, then why break the streak? To me, it makes sense to do it if you are going to do it. That's the point. Is, yo, Nick, you got to realize this is how we are going to attack as a team to try and win. Now, I personally don't think his defense is as bad as the metrics say it is. And you're going to say it's the worst. There's no right fielder. I got it. I know the numbers. I see all these crazy numbers and 5.7 LYs WAR and 6.53 L FM 6s. And they're like, Nick stinks at baseball defensively. I got you. He's not the best in the world. But I do think the numbers make it say that he's even worse than what he is, even though I know he's not phenomenal. If you are going to make defensive replacements throughout the July month, throughout the August month, throughout the playoffs, then this doesn't mean that much. This moment won't mean as much. This moment only means something if you are going to stick with Nick in right field all the time. And if that's not your plan, then I don't understand why you don't put Rojas in to double down on your decision to make a stand to Castellanos. It's not just about what you said. It's the fact that we are going to rely on a better defender in clutch moments with a lead late in the game to help us win. I am very disappointed. You absolutely disrespected me. But forget the disrespecting me for a second. From the baseball angle, this is how we're going to get it done. We got to improve the bullpen. We need to get more consistent hitting. And guys like Bohm are starting to almost be the Bohm of last year, which changes a lot of who this team is and their identity. Marsh is squaring the ball up better, for sure, over the last few games. And we need to make sure we are in the best spot we can be defensively, because as you know, it can get messy sometimes. So we need to limit that by putting out our best defenders. That's why you did it, right? Unless it wasn't. But if it wasn't, then why'd you do it? Because then Nick wins. And then you snap the streak for nothing. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of how my mind works with it. I'm a little confused. And now it's going to take me a bit longer to figure out what it actually means. I guess it's a blessing and a curse. It's the late stages of June. Give me storylines, please. But at the same time, I'd rather not have to deal with this. This is the type of stuff I don't love. I want to focus on baseball. I was waiting to see if Nick was going to speak after the game. He did not, from my knowledge. I waited to watch the TV broadcast of Phillies postgame live, and I saw Rob, and I saw Ranger Suarez. And then as they came back from commercial, they were discussing how they were going to set up tomorrow's battle on the bump. So I said, all right, screw it. I'll dip out here, and I'll start recording. So it'd be nice to hear a bit from Nick, because I was doing my WIP overnight shift yesterday morning, and I didn't hear this. One of our producers said, hey, bro, Scott Fransky gave us a rundown on what went down. And one of the things stated by Nick with just written form quotes last night was Nick said Rob believed what he commented on was inappropriate. That implies to me that Nick didn't think it was wrong. Nick said Rob thought it was wrong. So you're not taking the proper steps. Now, granted, the timeline, this is right after it in the heat of the moment, whereas you get a day to sleep on it. You get a day to look in the mirror. I believe there was a report out there saying that Nick did apologize to Rob Thomson. So there's that. Yeah, Scott Fransky said on the radio for this broadcast that Nick Castellanos did apologize to Rob Thomson for the comment made on Monday night. So it could just be, hey, you know I'm a fiery guy. You know I love to be out there. I want to play as much as humanly possible, and I shouldn't have said what I said. I'm just fascinated to know if it was towards a teammate hey, Trey Turner sucks at shortstop. You let him play. Or was it something towards Rojas? Because Rojas did end up getting an at-bat later in that game where maybe Rob Thomson thought that Nick wouldn't get another at-bat anyway. So it was strictly defense, and Nick wants every opportunity to swing at the first pitch and try to get those stats up. I guess it doesn't really matter anymore at this point. It's just bizarre how all the stars aligned for this one. At the crack of the bat, without a doubt, I started to prepare myself mentally that this was going to suck, that this show was going to be a nightmare. This show was going to be aggravating. I'm already limited in sleep right now. What the hell? I don't want to deal with this. You can't be losing games like that, even if it should have been a bigger blowout. It's 4-2. We're messing around with the way Strom's being used. Man, Strom, woof. Strom is so uneasy to watch. He was lights out last year. You had an incredible bullpen last year whenever we were in those positions. Instead of sweating and my ass crack get a little sweaty, it's the complete opposite. It's, dude, I'm about to take off my clothes and get comfortable. Because there's not an ounce of my body that think this is going to make me, in any way, shape, or form, tense. I can relax. I can put the little feet up on the recliner. And now Strom all of a sudden is a stiff. He's a weak spot. And it's not even close. Ricky Bo said that he's lost for words. Essentially, he's lost for the feel. He's at the point now where he's grasping for straws, and he questioned if Rob Thomson is just trying to keep everybody in the back end of the bullpen on their toes. That's why they're doing the dance party right now with who's in the 7th, who's in the 8th, who's in the 9th. I don't think it's that. I don't think this is a strategic move, and they don't want people to get comfortable in certain innings. I think we're so lost on what is happening that's the type of stuff we throw in the air to wonder. That's how you know you're out of sync. That's how you know you're getting a little bit, all over the place if you're Topper with some of these late inning relief options. Is we start speculating, are you doing it on purpose? Because it's that mind-numbing, because it's that wacky. And I'm not telling you I love Kerkering. I just love him the most out of Romano and Strom. And he's been doing very well. But I'm just saying it's more about, this is the only guy, the only one. I know you still got to get to the 9th. So in theory, you're going through a Strom experience anyway. But the way Kerkering's been throwing it compared to others, wouldn't it be easier to at least solidify one of the 5 holes you have in the pen? So when you get more knowledge on exactly where you are at the deadline, I guess, they're going after a Chapman anyway, so it doesn't matter if Kerkering shines from now until the deadline. They're still going to go after a 9th inning veteran guy like a Chapman and push Kerkering to the 8th. Rightfully so. But I'm saying maybe this is me just wasting my breath, So I'm not sure if I got into this here or not. I do a lot of talking, all right? So I don't know if it was on the radio, if it was here, if it was Bleacher Report, but I did want to touch on this Bryce Harper latest because it is interesting. But first, what's interesting is my lawn because it's beautiful, because it's green, and because I went to the experts at Green Lawn Fertilizing. I did not pay attention to my lawn because I was an idiot. I was a stupid person when I first became a homeowner. I did not realize the difference it makes when you see your lawn looking pretty as hell. When you have the best lawn in the entire neighborhood, it just creates an outstanding personality for your home. And I needed help badly because it was gross. My lawn was a 0 out of 100. I went to the experts. They're experts in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. Best in the Philadelphia market. Green Lawn Fertilizing came here, and they started with treatment 1. Then they came back for treatment 2. Then they came back for treatment 3. And where we are now compared to where we started, it makes me smile. I'm in so much tears when I get happy, when I open up my back door or let my dogs run out back, when I open up my front door to go grab the mail. You should see me. It's like I just, did the had a couple of beers and I'm feeling it. I'm just thrilled. And Green Lawn Fertilizing right now is offering 50% off to you on your first 2 treatments if you sign up with the link down below in the description. That's 50% off your first 2 treatments. They educate you. Hey, bros, the reason why those spots are brown is because we killed the weeds. Now it's time to build grass and grow grass. That's why it looks that way. Don't worry. I said, hey, you're the best. You're the best. Thank you for that. You're amazing. Green Lawn Fertilizing. Check them out. All right, so originally, Rob Thomson said that you would get Bryce Harper on this road trip to Miami. Then all of a sudden, right before they left, we got hit with the news that he's going to stay back because he can get more rehab done and get more things done physically if he stayed in town. And I go, well, no shit. You didn't think about that when you were wondering how you would approach this with Bryce? That hit you last minute? That was one of the last things. As Bryce is driving to the plane, he goes, oh, wait a second. If I stay, no. So did something go down? Maybe, just maybe, knowing the New York Mets are on the horizon here, they figured we can do just fine without you in Miami. Let's not even push it. Let's not even worry. I know you're hungry and determined to get back on that field, and getting to see a Miami team maybe could be better prior to facing such a heavy matchup with a lot of expectations and a lot of upset fans with how things went the last time you saw them up in Citi Field. It would be nice to get the cobwebs off, if you will. But let's not play that game. Chill back. Mets. We'll see how it goes. I just don't like the beginning thought of, oh, yeah, he's close. Oh, yeah, he'll most likely make it in the lineup on Thursday, on Wednesday. To, hey, that range of motion in his wrist is almost back, but it's not fully back. So you know what? Since it's almost back, and that's not enough for our liking, forget about it. But were you even under the idea that he lost range in the wrist? I mean, that's one of the quotes that Topper said a few days ago. Hold on a second. It's to the point where he lost range of motion in his wrist and it's not back? It's almost back. It's leaning towards being back. That's how bad it is, where he couldn't even move it at all? Thought maybe there was wrist pain or discomfort. That seems significantly worse. But you know me. I'm a tool bag. You know me. I'm always thinking the worst and making everybody's blood boil and rise more than it needs to. Let's go to the Anytime Hotline, shall we? Let's hear from the beautiful listeners. Well, hold on. I feel it's been a while since I didn't have my settings in check right off the rip, but I could be completely wrong. Okay, let's try it again.
That epic catch that Nick Castellanos just made gave me my answer. Topper's fired soon, I promise. That is direct saying, fuck you, Topper. I'm better than what you think I am. Screw you. And the whole team ate it up. Guarantee you, this is a win now, but a loss later. See you, birds.
I disagree. I don't even think that that's relatively close to the situation. If anything, it shows me that Topper was able to inspire his guy enough to put out that effort. You could tell that he was moving with a different energy. You could tell that he was playing with a different fierce face. You could tell he wanted to respond. And if that's the case, that means to some level, Rob Thomson got an answer. Rob Thomson moved the needle. Normally, you first off, look at their record, dude. They're not firing Rob Thomson in the middle of this season with the way their record is. That's just silly. It's nonsense. But more times than not, whenever there is a manager that's canned, guys like Nick, fuck off. I don't even care about what you're saying. Shut up. You're a little little fly in my ear. I'm trying to get out of my face. You're eating a burger at a picnic and it's a barbecue and the fam's there and there's a fly that keeps landing on your pickle and you go, shoo, the pickle on the plate. That's how you have those managers. Get out of my ear, you annoying little pest. This is, nah, dude. Nah, I could play. But a healthy I could play. You doubted me in right field? I think there is a spin of that, but a good spin on that. The way this went down sets you up to be a possible advantage, a possible bonus, where all parties end up looking good. All parties get 2 thumbs up. Hey, sometimes there's turmoil. Hey, sometimes our competitive drive, we bang heads. We're both going on the same collision course here, and no one wants to budge. You iron it out. More times than not, it happens behind the scenes. It probably happened many, 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 many times with Nick and some of his teammates, Nick and the manager. I think that's why it probably escalated to this point, is because of how many times it happened behind the scenes. And it was just like, hey, enough's enough. It's the card I'm pulling. But if you can work through that, then it shows me that, you know what? Rob may do it differently and push a button. You only get limited times to push buttons when you're a managerial type like Rob. He hit one, and it worked. It worked. So it shows that Nick went out with a purpose and executed his part of this. And then collectively as a team, they're aware of what WIP says all day. They're aware of social media. Forget the you're right, I'm right. How about this to shut everybody up? Look at the show I'm doing right now. How this could potentially benefit the group. That's the headline. That's the storyline. That's part of a crucial takeaway of what I've been discussing. As a team that I needed to see togetherness from. This is a way that could bring that camaraderie together. Earlier in the year, no one went after, who was it? Spencer Strider. And I was disappointed because that's a way to build camaraderie. This is a way from internal conflict that then reaches a level of, getting back to being level-headed and getting back on an even keel, even playing field type of emotional range. And then you say, okay, you know what? What they're saying about us, it's not true. Let's all do what we respectfully need to do in Miami. Let's all perform. Let's all show up to the ballpark angry, wanting it badly, doing whatever it takes. And let's stick it to all the assholes. And that means you, Broach. Hey, that's cool. But I think it's closer to that than what you're laying out. I guess I didn't really give Ranger as much love as I should. Ranger's amazing. It's just innings, that's all. And I'll say it every single time. The only thing that scares me with him is just the innings. When he's in a good spot, this is Ranger. This is Ranger. Unbelievable, top of National League Ranger, in the mix for the top conversations for starting pitchers in the National League Ranger. That's Ranger. Until his body just hits a wall. He needs to find a way to not hit that wall. But prior to hitting the wall, he is amazing. And I believe it was John Foley on Twitter who took a screenshot of his last few game logs. And John Foley covers the Phils for, he was with PHLY. I'm not necessarily sure where he's at now. But here's his last few game logs. May 22nd, 6 2/3, no earned runs. May 27th, 6 innings pitched, no earned runs. June 1st, 6 innings pitched, 1 earned runs. June 7th, 7 innings pitched, 2 earned runs. June 13th, 7 innings pitched, no earned runs. June 18th, 7 innings pitched, 1 earned run. I mean, he's been going 7 in 3 consecutive starts. and barely allowing damage. You got all these ground balls that are getting back to one throw. Okay, not impressive, but for the most part, you know what he's capable of doing defensively. Cool, calm, collected. It's just about innings, and innings only. If he could break through that wall, then holy hell. Holy hell. All right, that is going to do it for us right now. I'm just doing the last double check that Nick did not talk. Nope, the only thing I'm seeing is a bunch of messy chaos in the College World Series. So I will keep up and see what the hell is going on there. You guys are the best. Thank you all so much for kicking it and hanging out with me. I love you. Go Phils. I'll talk to you on the next one.